I followed my dreams and opened an antique store to have adventures and spend time as a family. Sometimes you have to climb a mountain and open some new doors to find the treasures inside. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
Hey guys, so this is sort of different. I'm inside of an elevator inside of a building because I'm off to see a guy that says he's got a vintage steering wheel that might work for my old race car. I'm just about there at his floor. We're gonna walk down the hall and see if we can find one. Okay, so it was successful. Here's my wheel. So this is gonna replace the one that I had on the car, which was a rusted hunk of metal, and make it look a little bit nicer once I get home. And as you can see, the price was right at $10. This is a nice vintage wood steering wheel, but what I have to do is start taking all the old tape off, which basically looks like cloth sort of hockey tape here, and get back to the wood. And I'm gonna try and do a nice refinish to the wood so it looks a little bit more sharp than what it is right now. So step number one, take the tape off. Okay, so all of the tape is off of the steering wheel now, but I've discovered that it had a crack, as you can kind of see the light coming through there. The wood is separating a bit, so I'm gonna have to clamp this, let it sit overnight with some glue and with some carpenter's glue, and have a look at it in the morning and see if I can get it to hold together. If I can, I will sand it down and restain it. If I can't, I might have to look at sturdying it up and wrapping it like the last people did, but I'm hoping not to go down that route. But we're gonna clamp it, leave it overnight, and see how it looks in the morning. So I've started clamping, and I'm actually using my antique clamps because they actually work really good still. I've started clamping the two inner and outer hoops together on this steering wheel. The challenge is the inner diameter here has shrunk a little bit, and the outer diameter has expanded. So as I clamp on this side, it starts to pop out again over on that side. So I'm gonna have to get some more clamps and kind of do this in sequence to make it so it works. And again, if I can't get it so it looks nice enough to leave as wood, I will just end up wrapping it again in something nicer. But I'm gonna wait until this dries up, and I'm gonna try and clamp the other side and hopefully make it a nice round circle again.
So even though I've been very careful to clamp this all the way around, there are still some gaps. It's a little tighter at the top, but there's still a bigger gap on the bottom. So I filled it. We're going to try some wood filler and see if it turns out a little better. The next thing I'm going to do is give a little bit of a polish to the aluminum on the steering wheel. It's not going to be great. I'm not going to do a high polish on it. I'm just going to use some steel wool and some Autosol and just bring it up to a bright shine. So I'm going to go around and just bring it back up a little bit and make it look a tiny bit better than it does right now. So as you can see, it shined up very nicely. I'm not trying to make it perfect because it's an antique car and I'm going to be doing sort of a patina paint job on it. I don't want it to look like a brand new race car, but it sure is looking a heck of a lot better. So unfortunately, the wood would not glue all the way together without cutting or altering it. So I am going to rewrap this steering wheel, but I'm going to find a little bit nicer steering wheel cover for it, and then get ready to mount it on the car. And what I'm using to cover the steering wheel is a leather wrap that just came in the mail. I got this on good old eBay. It was about $25, and I'm going to use that to wrap around the outer edge of the steering wheel and tie it up. So we're going to get that started and see how she looks. So you start by stretching it all around the outside. Once you get it stretched all the way over, you can start tying it up. So last night I sanded the whole thing down, and now what I've done is I put some wood filler in the seam where the two pieces of wood were joined, and I'm going to start sanding it down with a 150 grit and then moving up to a 220 before I stain it. So I've got to get all that wood filler off that's in the seam and get ready to stain. The centerpiece I took out yesterday actually just unscrewed and came out. Nice little piece of aluminum. Makes for a nice lightweight steering wheel, but this is what we're working on today. So you can see I have sanded down the crack, so there's just a little bit there where the two pieces are joined that I had to seal up. It's really nice and smooth. I'm going to wash it down, and after it's cleaned off, I'm going to get ready to stain. And for the wood stain, what I'm using is just a Minwax
Now this is not an integrated, sometimes you can buy them where they have the clear built in. I'm doing that in a 2 coat, so I'm going to be putting Varathane on afterwards. I feel I get a better finish that way and can sand the coats. But I'm going to stir this up, and you don't want to shake, not unlike paint, where you can shake paint. You want to stir varnish because you don't want any bubbles getting in there, and you want to have a nice even mix. So we're going to be doing this in a dark walnut with some clear coats of Varathane on that. Should turn out pretty nice. So I'm going to start putting the first coat on. And I'm at work right now. Somebody could walk in the door needing some help, so I'm using a rubber glove here just because I don't want to get wood stain all over myself and look like a mess. So we're going to get a little bit of stain on our foam brush and start laying the coats on. And see how dark that is. That should be a really nice contrast once I get the car done. So I'm going to go all the way around, lay this on evenly, and get ready for possibly a second coat and then the Varathane. So we have the stain, the first coat is on. It's coming out quite nice. What I did, just so there weren't any sort of extra spots where there was too much varnish or stain I should say, I just kind of gave it a wipe with a paper towel just to kind of smooth it all out so that it balanced it. Now we're going to wait for that to dry, and I'll probably do a second coat before I get ready for the clear. And while my second coat dries, I've got it sort of suspended in midair here from the stir stick, mainly because if I lay it flat, it's going to stick to the cardboard or stick to the paper that I had it on. This is only touching in 2 little places underneath there, so it shouldn't be very difficult to touch up if I have to. So you can kind of see it's just kind of sitting there, not resting on anything. So I'm going to let that dry and then put some Varathane on. And now for the Varathane. So I bought quick dry Varathane, which is meant for outdoors. And because this is an open concept race car, it is going to be outdoors in the sun. So I wanted something with good UV protection and something that could really stand up. So I'm going to apply, this is actually my second coat I'm putting on now. I'm going to put another coat on, let it dry, and I'm probably going to do a few coats and then I'll sand and then do another coat just so it smooths everything out and fills all the little imperfections of the wood. Once that's done, I can give a final light sand, a final coat, and it'll be all done. So I'm going to finish this up and let it dry and then work on the other side.
And as you can see, after 5 coats, it's really starting to shine up nicely. This is going to look fantastic and hopefully be very durable as well. All I have to do now is reinstall the aluminum inner ring and get ready to mount it to the car.
And this is where she's going to be eventually, right around that spot there. So I've only got 2 nice things about the car right now. I've got a nice steering wheel and I've got nice rims, which are behind me here. Still lots of work to do. But at least it's one thing down that I don't have to worry about. And every time I get one little bit done in the car, that's one step closer to this thing going down the road. Thanks so much for tuning in on this week's episode. It was just sort of an update on the steering wheel progress. This week we're trying to get a little bit more of the welding done. Really, it's been too cold outside. It's still well below freezing. So as soon as it warms up, we're going to get a lot more work done. Even though I have a space heater in here, it's still not pleasant. Plus, I've been redoing the floors in the house. So lots of other stuff going on too. But thanks again for tuning in. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see future updates on this car. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.